I got my first gaming console, which was a Nintendo DS, when I was 6 years old, after I had begged for it over and over again, because some of my friends had a Nintendo as well, and oh my gosh, it was so fun to play on it. And because back then I had no taste of my own, because I was a wee little child, I was just happily playing whatever games my family bought for me, which back then was stuff like Mario, Yoshi's Island, and Nintendogs. And because my family wasn't really that game savvy, I think the height of gaming before me for them was the one card game, I think Solitaire it was called, that you could play on PC back in the early 2000s, so they just got me more of the games I enjoyed. So I lived my childhood playing tons of Mario games, diverse pet games, and also lots and lots of educational games like Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training, because gotta keep things balanced. And fun fact, even now as I'm an adult, my mom still bought me the latest Dr. Kawashima's Brain Training for the Switch, so to this day I sometimes do math for fun, because gaming times. Also, real talk, Dr. Kawashima really knows how to reel you in, because in the game there is this mental age sort of test, and let me tell you, if you're in your 20s, but your mental age is like 60, you too will lock in and play the game more to get better, because no way I am that old. Because in Dr. Kawashima, it's not about being wise and old. It's like, no, your brain cells are literally on vacation and in retirement already. And it's like, no, they aren't. So yeah, to get back on track, back when I was a child, the only games that existed to me were the games I was playing. And since that did not include games like Animal Crossing nor The Legend of Zelda, they were basically non-existent to me. That changed though. To be specific, in June of 2013, when Animal Crossing New Leaf decided to grace the earth with its glory and hit the stores, to which I was totally oblivious. But one of my friends got it. So when I was over at her place during that year's summer vacation, she showed me her latest game, and my gosh, it was so fun! We spent hours playing Animal Crossing that summer, taking turns catching as many bugs and fish as our inventory could possibly hold, and then selling them in Nook's Cranny, hoping we somehow could make even more belts than we had previously, and then it was the others' turn, until their inventory was full as well, and the cycle repeated. I know this whole gameplay loop sounds super simple, because it is, but if you're an Animal Crossing player, you know what's up. Whenever we caught a bug we never caught before, we were so excited and showing it off to each other. And if there was a shark down at the beach, you betcha we got the highest adrenaline spike trying to catch it. I swear, whenever I saw those fins poking out of the water, I got so nervous. Same with the rare and expensive bugs that would show up on the palm trees from time to time. And with all the money we made that way, we could even expand my friend's house, add more rooms, make them bigger, get more furniture and decorate, come up with fun themes, decide what the next room should be, and it was honestly just so amazing and fun. But my friend and I lived kind of far away from each other, so once summer vacation was over, so would be our gaming times. Except, of course, I go and get the game as well. So that year, Animal Crossing and Nintendo 3DS were on my Christmas wishlist. Because in case you're not aware, Animal Crossing New Leaf had an online multiplayer in which you can visit each other's towns and play minigames together, even when you're far apart. So it was literally perfect. After lots of impatient waiting, Christmas arrived, and turns out Santa did an oopsie. I did get my Nintendo 3DS that Christmas, but Santa delivered Animal Crossing to one of my grandmas, so she would also have a gift for me, which in itself is lovely. But that grandma was not able to make it that Christmas, so I had to wait until she could visit a few days later. So that Christmas Eve, I was stuck with a gaming console, but no game. And I know this is luxury problems, but I was like 10, so please cut me some slack and forgive my sins. Back then, this was a big deal. Nowadays, it's really funny. But my mom actually managed to pull the ultimate Uno reverse in a last-ditch effort to save the day, because turns out, because my Nintendo DS was silver-colored, she thought it would be kinda cute and cool if my next Nintendo was gold, so they would be kinda matching. But turns out the only Nintendo 3DS she found that was golden was the Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds Special Edition. And so, without knowing nor really caring about Zelda, my mom bought the Nintendo 3DS solely for the color. I'm honestly so thankful that she was that committed to keeping things color coordinated, because now as an actual Zelda fan, having this Nintendo is so cool. Back then, I did find the colors and design fancy as well, but I didn't really know what the Triforce meant and thought it was just like a random triangle that they slapped on there. So my appreciation for it definitely grew over the years. So yeah, that Christmas, instead of being able to play Animal Crossing, I now had my very first Zelda game, but I had no idea what Zelda even was. So I ended up playing A Link Between Worlds not only completely blind, but also completely loreless and not aware of how Zelda games work at all. That sure wouldn't be an issue, would it? Well, I started out just following the instructions of the game, going where I had to go, doing what I needed to do, and slowly getting the gist of the story. Apparently, there was some Yuga guy running around and kidnapping the 7 sages. I had no idea what any of that meant, but I was starting to enjoy myself, until I had to go into the dungeons. I managed the first one kinda okay-ish, I think, but then came the dungeons in the mountain that has a bunch of floors you need to climb, and at some point I just couldn't figure out for the life of me how to get higher up. I tried everything I could think of, but nothing worked. And the thing is, back then I didn't know that things like game walkthroughs exist and you could look them up in situations like this, so I was stuck. And I ended up trying things that I thought could work, because I didn't know how Zelda games work. So I just went out into the overworld and ran around hoping to find some sort of secret mechanism or like a hidden side quest or a character that would give me some hints. And obviously these things did not work. So after that, not changing anything either, I just gave up and abandoned A Link Between Worlds. But after playing I don't know how many hours of Animal Crossing and having nothing really left to do in there, I found myself thinking maybe I should give the Zelda game another shot. And so back to Zelda I went. I figured if everything went great, I could continue on in the story, and if not, then oh well, I tried it. I started up the game again, went into the dungeon I struggled so much with, and immediately solved it. Turns out I probably just missed a teeny tiny little detail which kept me from progressing, because now it was so easy, or like not easy but very manageable, and I was so happy and excited. I felt like in the months where I hadn't touched the game, I had leveled up. I had, just become so smart and such a genius and so capable, and I would surely just breeze through this game no problem. And then the next dungeons came around and humbled me again real quick. The Whispering Woods as well. I actually did figure out the gaming mechanic. It was some sort of memory game, if I remember correctly, and I am aware how ironic that sentence is, but I wasn't able to actually pull it off until I get my mom in on it as well, and we sat down and solved the Whispering Woods together. Thank you so much for that, Mom, you're a real one. So I ended up playing this game on and off over the course of many more months, until I finally got more familiar with the puzzles of Zelda games, and the better I got, the more fun I had, obviously. And I managed to play longer and longer parts of the game without bigger issues. And I also got more familiar with the game's gimmick, which is Link being able to turn into a painting because he got cursed by Yuga, who wanted him to stay stuck as a painting on a wall forever. Looking back at it, this game could be kinda dark. But honestly, that made for a really fun and innovative game mechanic that could be used both inside houses and out in the overworld, so I'm not complaining. After somehow getting through all the dungeons, I made it to Hyrule Castle, and at this point, I was starting to get invested in the world. I wanted to save Zelda. I was sick of Yuga getting away again and again. This guy was getting on my nerves, and I was ready for the final fight. With the help of a bunch of fairies to resurrect me, of course, because I wasn't the best at the fights. Yeah. Well, turns out, the game pulled a completely 180 of me, because this wasn't the final fight at all. It was kind of more the midway point of the game, actually, and I was flabbergasted. All of a sudden, there was a different princess from a kingdom named Lorule that also needed my help, and Norule is just as big as Hyrule with a bunch of new dungeons, people, towns, and secrets to uncover, so everything you can explore and interact with in-game basically doubled with this. And little old me was shook to the core, because reminder, this is my first Zelda game ever. So far, the story-driven games that I played, if you can even call them that, was stuff like Super Mario. I wasn't used to plot twists at all. When you go to Bowser's castle and beat him, that's the end of the game. You maybe get like one last extra star world or something like that, but that's it. So yeah, I was excited when this was revealed to me. And I think this is also when the Zelda magic really pulled me in. I didn't know that games could do this, and I wanted more games to do this. The rest of the story just got more and more interesting, and while I really wanted to beat Yuga and save everyone, I was also a little sad that it would be over. But then I found out that The Legend of Zelda is a whole franchise that's been going on for longer than I am alive, and that there's plenty more games in the sea. I also figured out that Let's Plays of Zelda games are very much a thing, and immediately started watching as many as I could get my hands on. That's also why back then, although I never played the game myself, Skyward Sword was one of my favorite Zelda games, because they really focused on Link's and Zelda's relationship in the beginning, and I am a huge sucker for romance, so this game was gold. After A Link Between Worlds, I played Triforce Heroes, which I didn't enjoy that much and never finished, but it also didn't deter me from the franchise. At this point, I was in it. And then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I think the rest is kind of history. I mean, I create fan animatics, and you saw me work on a fan art during the entirety of this video, so I don't think I need to tell you just how much I love these games. It's kind of funny to think about that the only reason I started playing Zelda games was because of one tiny mishap at a Christmas that was like 12 years ago. And the fact that my mom really wanted to get me a golden 3DS no matter what. So honestly, thank you so much for that, Mom. And also, thank you all for listening to me gush about some games that I love. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Maybe see you in the next one. And either way, have an awesome day. Bye bye!